See Brown in your face.
Have you heard of Everything at Once?
Do you know about Everything at Once?
It's internationally known.
Aliens listen to it.
It's the best ever.
If there's something you're looking for in the 814, or feeling a little bored and think there ain't no more, check out Everything at Once and allow it to be your source. It's that raw podcast that's always showing support, highlighting the scene. No need to take I-90 to Peep or 79 to see how it be. Interviewing your locals with mindsets that are global. Innovators and creators on every single upload. So much going on in the EPA.
Incredible content.
Everything at Once will keep you up to date.
Amazing guests.
What you doing? Come through and hang with Tony and Dave.
Community driven.
Bringing everything at once from around the way. Everything at once from around the way. Hey.
Please listen. We love you. Everything at Once.
Everything at Once.
Hello again, all you intergalactic listeners. We would like to start today's broadcast with a special thanks to all of our Patreon producers. Brian G, Josh W, Ian D, Nick G, and Sadie M.
Patreon is an awesome way to support this show and say thanks. You can become a Patreon supporter by clicking the link below and choosing to be an intern, assistant, or producer level supporter.
And when we hit 10 Patreon supporters, Dave is going to perform an incredible feat that is yet to be determined.
Hopefully it's something good.
We also want to thank all the local businesses and sponsors that supported this episode. These businesses get the Everything at Once stamp of approval. We couldn't do it without them. And for those of you who have not heard, there are some interesting changes going on at Cauldron and Thorne.
Yeah, what's going on there?
2 years ago, America's first family of darkness landed in Erie, Pennsylvania. In a few short months, they built the world's largest shop, dedicated to the magical arts and metaphysical sciences. This summer, they invite you to explore the shadows of the human experience. A carefully curated catalog of arcane artifacts and occult ephemera for the discerning collector. Cauldron and Thorne proudly presents The Dark Curiosities of the Vault.
Well, Dave, they invited me back, and I checked it out, and I've got to say there is some incredible, extraordinary, paranormal stuff back there that's really just, it really takes it to the next level. They're going above and beyond what they're used to out there.
You always get all the sneak peeks. Damn it. But you know what?
Next time.
Next time, indeed. I'm super pumped. Is there anything else you can say about it?
Well, not a whole lot right now. You're just going to have to go back there and check it out yourself when the vault is finally open.
And I will be going there. We'll be going to Cauldron and Thorne, which is located at 2724 West 8th Street. I'll be going there in person to see what's in that vault, since you already got that sneak peek, you bastard. But anyways, I guess we should just get back to promoting the sponsors.
Yeah, let's get back to promoting the sponsors. Solid State. Solid State takes pride in all home remodeling projects. Solid State specializes in bathroom remodeling, kitchen renovations, windows and door installation, custom design work, and more, including painting, flooring, drywall, siding, decks. Get your free quote today by calling Nick at 814-397-7854. Solid people, solid product, Solid State Construction.
Got a problem with your car? Tommy's Automotive can take care of everything car-related. Tommy's Automotive is a reliable, trustworthy service provider.
That's right. Tommy's Automotive can take care of brakes, exhaust, fluid changes, spark plugs, and all other maintenance needs.
Tommy's Automotive also does fluid film undercoating to keep your car from getting eaten alive this winter by rust. Book your appointment today. Call Tommy at 814-384-8088.
And now, what you've all been waiting for, our next guest.
She's pretty incredible.
She's pretty incredible. She owns and operates, is the head chef at A Crepe, Erie, Stephani Klassen.
We got to sit down with her and talk and really hear about her origins as a chef and as a business owner, how she's gotten to the point where she's at today, and her awesome personality that goes into her everyday work, banging out the best crepes in Erie.
The best crepes in Erie. It was an awesome conversation. We enjoyed it, and now we hope you enjoy it. What podcast were you on before you came hang out with us?
The Giselle Luttrell, she does the Honest CEO podcast. She hasn't put one out in the last 6 months now.
Is that the owner of Tipsy Bee?
So we did that one. Giselle.
I see her all the time, but I haven't known her name.
Purple.
Yeah. Purple, short hair,
You
cool
could call
lady.
her Purple, and she will respond. So, yeah. Hers I did 3 years ago now. Yeah, it was during COVID. We were at CatCom. And so that room is like super tight and incredibly
Cam Erie,
sterile.
Right?
I'm not. So
I don't like sterile.
I don't like sterile. That room is really small, too. A lot of people record there.
yeah, and it's hot. And
It doesn't get hot in there?
Yeah, it's uncomfortable. So
Come here and talk about yourself and feel as uncomfortable as
it
possible while
was
doing
really
it.
good. And then
Makes for great conversations.
It
when you're
wa-
just,
well, yeah, and, you know.
sweating and
So, but she had, the questions like, I don't know, it was just very,
formal,
yeah,
very interviewy.
yeah.
We're not really.
Well, you
like
don't
that
have
here.
to worry about that here.
We did maybe not as little preparation as possible.
No, we know about the people we're interviewing, but as
Yeah.
far as like staged questions, new.
That's not part of the process here.
Yeah, and that was, it was good for the first time going in, and then especially like during COVID, having to communicate that. So that was nice, but yeah.
Cool.
So I'm glad that you guys are my second.
Yeah.
That is the best way.
And
That's the best
we
way.
brought you here to talk about your amazing business.
Oh, thank
Steph.
you. Thank you, Tony.
Yes.
Yeah, my business. Fuck.
Give a crepe.
It is. Give a crepe, CrepErie.
How did you get that name?
Well, okay. So I used to manage a French bistro that was here downtown Erie, and my server, because I was front of house manager.
What was it called?
Bertrand's.
Bertrand's.
Yeah.
That place was amazing. And then it was Alchemy,
Yep.
which is gone now too, which were also amazing.
Yeah. So I was managing that and front of house managing, not cooking or anything. And one of my servers, who's a friend of mine, she and I we spoke really shitty French to each other just because, like,
Fun.
pretending. And she was like, yeah, right. And she also is not from Erie. So she's from Texas, and her husband's from here, which is why they live here. My children's father's from here, which is why I'm here. And she was like, two girls who give a crepe about Erie. I was like, that's a great company name.
That's it.
That's it. So it was going to be her and I, and we just wanted to do the Blue Heron. Like that
Cool.
was the only, just so we could hang out and make crepes, and
Sure.
she could do consignment. She ended up opening up Periwinkle Consignment in Girard in September of 2018, and then, or no, not 2018, September of 2016. And then I opened and did my first pop-up of Give a Crepe in October of that year. So still very close friends, just
Right.
thankfully not working together.
Yeah. I mean,
So-
that changes things sometimes, changes the whole dynamic.
I like you looking at Dave like
Yeah.
it
Yeah.
changes the
That
dynamic. You were
changes
late.
things.
We've been friends for a decade, and now we hate each other.
Yeah,
now.
you're like, we're doing this on camera as a play.
The only time we ever talk to each other is the days that we record
Right.
stuff anymore.
Before you walked in the door, we were actually fist fighting.
Yeah. Oh, well, I mean, you
We
cleaned
got-
up
we have-
really quickly.
yeah,
Like, I mean, yeah.
We have a
We
great-
don't hit very hard.
We've learned very good makeup skills. too.
See,
Yeah.
I need help
Cover
with
up
that.
those black eyes and all the blemishes. It's important. You got to have that.
Right,
Got to
right.
keep the moneymaker fresh.
No, and it is. I mean, I will say I'm happy to not have been working with her, but it is like the young lady, she ended up painting my whole entire store when I came in. And like that little orange bench when you walk in, that's from her shop. And
Oh,
also
nice.
Scoop. So we still support each other in what we do. We just know we love each other better as friends than as partners in a business.
Well,
so.
that's really good too. And it's awesome that you guys are both busy enough and successful enough to, have your own personal investment and your own time that goes into your own thing. You know what I mean?
Yeah, no. And so for me, because my kids, my daughter is 17, my son is just about to turn 15. So where she has a 17-year-old and a 10-year-old. So her level of involvement, and she's also a teacher, you know, and like, so she is busy. Like, I haven't seen her in 8 months, you know, where mine is much more now at the shop dedicated because that's where I can be, and my kids can do whatever the fuck they want to do.
And you guys aren't open for dinner either.
No.
Which is great for you, I'm sure, but very sad for me when I want a crepe.
Well, it's so goals for Give a Crepe by the end of this year. No matter what, I'd like to be in a sit-down restaurant. Okay. The company in that, just because I miss being out at night. Like, I love my dogs and I love my house, but I am antisocial as shit.
Right.
Like, this is the most I've talked to somebody outside my shop in a while.
And that's only because you have to there.
Pretty much, I agree.
And you do a great job. That's one of the things I love about coming in there. I'll get to see you. We'll chat about all sorts of stupid things. And
that's why I like the shop. And it has been like a balance. You guys doing podcasts, right? Like, you're being able to communicate to people, and then you can like turn that off. Right. So the shop for me that's my extroversion. And then when I go home, people are like, hey, we want to hang out. And I'm like, that's great. We should schedule that out another time.
3 months from now.
Not now.
Right.
Damn, I really want to hang out too. Let's do it another night.
But that's all part of like business. Well, maybe not business owning, but like there's a certain level of showmanship that goes into so many different things. You know what I mean? Me and Dave are definitely different people. Well, different people for sure.
Well, in
real life.
I'm
versus on the show. No, maybe not entirely different, because we do like to keep things as authentic and as genuine as we can here. But at the same time, there's a certain level of energy that I might have on here all the time about anything that you could tell me versus in real life where I just want you to get away from me. You know?
That's factual.
No, I mean, I have found, and I've grown up, like, my dad, he has always owned businesses.
I met your dad at the shop.
Yeah, I did too. We were there that day.
You were there when you met
Super cool
Bruce.
dude.
Yeah,
very cool guy.
I tried to get the same glasses as him, but I couldn't find any that were like that. Like, his little tiny,
the
like
Ben
round,
Franklins.
Yeah.
Yep, Ben Franklins. I just talked to him, and I was like, Dad, what are you doing? He's like, I'm on a 65-foot yacht in Ontario Lake. I'm like,
wow.
I was like, that's cool. You have seasickness. Like, are you looking at the water? Because you're gonna fucking throw up in front of business people, Dad. But something that he raised like me and my brothers with is that you have to have like the salesman face, you know, and like be super. And at the shop, what I like about the fact that I'm not hidden is that people can see me get fucking pissed. Like, no, you know, I'm not
like,
in
it's
that
real.
mindset. Yeah, and I find it in the authenticity, because, man, it's so hard to keep that face on, you know, all the time.
And it's good to be relatable to other people too, and part of that is getting mad or getting, you know, being upset or sad or angry, whatever it is, you know, because other people, we all feel those feelings, you know?
Yeah,
as you should.
As we should.
Should. I mean, to have that, I believe they call it like the customer service voice.
Yeah.
To have it all the time, like 8 hours a day, 5 days a week, is extremely like not good for the mental health.
You get a little crazy.
Right.
You get a little crazy.
And
like,
you see people that are like that, and you're like a little bit concerned. But you know that if you ask them about it at all, they're just gonna be like, oh no, everything's great.
It's all perfect. Yeah, no, it's like I just watched the Lego movie because that's what I do for fun.
I love the Lego. It's an awesome movie. It's an excellent movie.
Right, like, you know, the super smiley.
Everything is happy.
Right. He's
Everything
always
is
happy,
awesome.
and then he's like, wait, no, it's not. And he goes through like that existential crisis of not being okay. It's okay to be that. You know what I mean? So yeah, and I hope that with people coming into the shop, like, I know Dave and you, Tony, have both come in and you guys have been like, yeah, we just want food. Like, don't fucking talk to me.
In and out.
Like, Dave will be like,
crepe.
one word answer, I'm good. Like, and I'm like, okay, bye.
Yeah.
Definitely different personality than on the podcast sometimes.
Right.
And I don't mean to do it in like a negative way. It's just
not.
some
Yeah,
days
it's-
I'm just like, I'm just
want
chilling.
my crepe.
I'm just
I'm
chilling,
I'm trying to
you
eat
know?
my feelings here.
Yeah. Just let me do this.
Are Are you crying? No, I'm not.
It's called seasoning.
Yes.
You
You need a little extra salt.
Right,
exactly.
right. So no, like that's that's what I hope, if nothing else, comes to the table with Give a Crepe. I mean, fuck. I don't know. I've talked to people about this with the idea, like what like the whole entire world going through the pandemic, right? So I've become kind of a dick during that time, just so you guys know. And like when you ask me upstairs, Tony, like, are there any questions that I won't answer? Like, fuck no. Like, because honestly, at this point in time, we have to, I feel, be our most selves all the time because you don't know. Like, it even became more to a standpoint of you just don't know.
Sure.
So then why hide it? So this is who I am. And there are days when I'm like grumpy and you come into the shop and you're like, okay, cool, we'll get a crepe. Bye. Yeah. Just leave.
And that's fine too. And I think that people are starting to realize, like, there's a big cultural, maybe not a cultural phenomenon, but I see it a lot more where customer service people are dicks back to the customer. And it fills my heart with joy.
Yeah.
It's like, thank you. This person was being an asshole. Thank you for standing up for yourself and not letting them treat you like shit.
Well, and that was a big thing. Like a couple of years ago, I've only ever kicked out one person at the shop.
Ooh.
Robert. His name is Robert. I don't know his last name. If I saw him again, I wouldn't recognize him.
Right.
But I know his name. And he came in and we were busy as shit. It was like on a flea day, right? Like when we do our artisan fleas. Like I don't try to speak to people. But anyways, he was continually questioning my staff. Well, do you have, salami? Do you have pepperoni? Do you have pastrami? Like what else can I get? And then I was like, hey, the menu is up there. Like, it's on the chalkboard right there. And he's like, right, but what else do you have? I went, if it's not up there, then we don't have it. He's like, right, but, like, why can't I have, like, mozzarella and, pepperoni? And I went, maybe this isn't the fucking place for you, bro. And, like, the shop, you guys have been in. It's a small shop. It was filled, and they looked at me. I was like, sounds good. We'll see you later, okay? Bye. And, like, instant, his daughter was just like, I'll take a Foster's.
Yes.
And I felt bad, but like that type of thing stuck with me. And as I tell my staff, you have to know your boundaries to be able to say, it's not for you and it's okay, but you need to leave now. Goodbye. Like, you do not waste my time anymore. Shit's not going to change beyond what we can make it change. So yeah, that was one of my nicest customer service moments, is being able to say that.
It's good. It's a good feeling. And it sounds like you de-escalated a situation and that this person, maybe he wasn't trying to be particularly annoying or anything like that. No, he just, but like you're interrupting everybody else's workflow and people are trying to get stuff out. You guys are busy. Like we got stuff going on. We don't.
And that's the thing of it, is like, just be respectful of your surroundings. And if you can't, then this isn't a fit for you, whether it's at the Give a Crepe or I don't care, Sheets, like,
Right.
or a car wash, or you know what I mean?
I agree. That's like the most annoying, one of the most annoying things for me. Like, you ask once, it's like, cool, no, we don't do this. Oh, you really don't do it? No, we really don't do it. Like, it doesn't matter how you ask me, the answer is going to be the same,
there's all languages. It's no. Like, some might have a silent N after it, but it's still no.
It's no.
And we're not making special. We're not making special arrangements for you.
So for me, like, I would say yes to that, but I do. Like, if somebody comes in and they're like, "Oh man, like, I just like, what do you have? Can you put whatever you want?" And I'm like, "Yeah." I'll give you whatever the fuck I want. So they get like mushrooms and cabbage and bacon and ham and a runny egg and goat cheese, right? Like, to me, that sounds beautiful.
Right.
And they're like, oh, okay, what crepe is that called? And I'm like, it's not.
It's the crepe.
It's your crepe. It is just what I decided for you at this moment. And that's like the best. I will say the idea of like Burger King's Have It Your Way, for instance. That idea is a very kind idea for hospitality, because it means that you have the capability to accommodate somebody to the best of your ability, to the best of their ability. It gets taken over, though, you know what I mean? To where people abuse it.
Sure.
And that's like the abuse and the inconsideration I don't tolerate well anymore.
I also like that in that situation you're describing, I come in, I'm like, give me whatever you got, throw it on the crepe. I'm hungry.
Yeah.
And that level of trust is something that I feel like a lot of people maybe miss or don't appreciate. Like, you know,
I appreciate it.
I appreciate it a ton.
Anybody trusts me? Like, are you fucking kidding me?
and it's just like having the faith in the person, like understanding their capabilities and respecting that. You know what I mean?
And from the point of a person who's making the food or serving the drinks, right? Because I used to do that when bartending too, and coffee. Like, it's such a compliment to us for that trust, and it's almost like you want to go over and above to show gratitude in that measure. It's always such a happy look. Dave's gonna come in and he's gonna be like, listen, you got to make me whatever the fuck you want now.
Well, you know what, like usually I'm even if there's like a create your own at a restaurant, like I usually just go with something that is already listed. But I think it makes all the sense in the world to be like, look, like this is what you do. This is your business. You make crepes every day. I don't, you know, like you make me something, like, you know what tastes good. Like,
so in that regard, like for that, because that's how when I go out and order, I'm like, hey, just give me whatever. I have no allergies. And people freak out. They're like, well, what are you in the? I'm like, literally, I really don't. You could give me a pile of corn. I'd be happy.
I'm like the same way too. I will just eat anything. Whatever you put in front of me, like I'm gonna eat
That's what it is. And the hardest thing, so I've had customers come in and they're like, so what's your favorite? And I'm like, I don't know you. I don't, what is your favorite? Like, I could tell you my favorite is ham. And you look at me like I'm like going to kill something because you're a vegan. Like, I can't do that. You know, like, you got to give me some parameters.
A little bit of guidance.
Work in. But customer service.
And I think that's like also like goes into like the business world, and being a good leader is like offering guidance and not having to micromanage. And I feel like so many people want to micromanage the shit out of everything.
I do so bad.
Yeah.
I want to micromanage so bad. It's so hard for me not to.
I want to as well in a lot of situations, but I really do my best just to like stay hands off and be like, yeah, you got this. Like, you got this. Do it.
Yes, I have. Well, first, I listened to a podcast. It's called Flying Solo. It's a podcast out of Australia for entrepreneurs and business starters, and it covers all realms. They just had this author in, and she wrote a book called "They Serve How We Lead," and it's about customer service and speaking on leadership as the forefront of doing it. So I've been trying to implement this in the last 24 hours. So I told my staff me bringing back this one staff member gives me the capability to be open 7 days a week now.
Hell yeah.
Right. So I can go and watch The Amazing Spider-Man today.
Yeah. Good for you.
And he messaged me because I messaged him like, listen, I'm going to be off phone. Like I'll be silent for, 2.5 hours. And he was like, well, I was like, if it's an emergency, shut the fucking shop down and trust yourself. I was like, if it's not, you already know everything. You're there by yourself. I've trusted you to do that. Have trust in the fact that I trust you. And his response was, I got it. And I'm like, okay.
Perfect.
And the shop looked great. Like me going up there, I was like, yep, he's got it. And that is something that goes into being able to trust your staff, because I also know with him being there, and conversations might not be this detailed, right? But he will remember names, and he will remember backstories of, like you guys doing podcasts or Knoxville, right? Like little trinkets like that. That it brings, and it is because he has been taught, or it's who he is, of having the trust in himself to be able to not be micromanaged. But I still have to micromanage him.
Right.
A lot.
Just a little bit.
Yeah, just a little bit. Like, hey, dude, like maybe Swiffer at the end of the day.
Not first thing in the morning.
Right.
I will say this, and this is a little bit going in a different direction. But one of my favorite, it might be my favorite thing besides the, the quality of the food. But my favorite thing about Give a Crepe that you just mentioned is like, you guys remember the people. You remember the backstories. Like, that's one of my favorite things about frequenting local businesses, because you go so many places and people just they just don't remember anything about you. It's cool to walk in and, even if I'm just there, like, just give me a crepe and let me go. It's cool still, to be like, hey, Dave, how you doing? It gives it like that very like personal feel.
Cheers.
Yeah, it's cheers. I was just about to say it's cheers. Yeah, it's cheers. It's fantastic.
Thank you. It was something that... Okay, so I grew up as a Navy kid. I don't know if you guys... So I grew up as a Navy kid, and part of our, as a child of naval parents, is you have to have certain survival skills. One of these things is making friends incredibly quickly, right? Like, incredibly quickly. So you have to remember a lot of things about people so that way you can start conversations. It's definitely led. My brother's in sales for logistics. My other brother is a fucking math teacher down in Florida, and my other brother is in what's it called, HVAC and explosives, like talking to them. Yeah, I'm very proud of my brothers. And but we all had to learn people's names quickly, because it also means that you can be able to communicate with them. You don't know how long, so that also goes into, you don't know how long you're going to be there. Ours, for me, it was always 3 years. So you had some time, but then again, in 3 years, so much shit changes. You know what I mean? Lives change. Fucking people, lives change.
Right.
So, no, that skill. But there's also a book it's called. It sounds narcissistic as fuck and super manipulative, but it's How to Win Friends and Influence People.
I've heard of that book.
Yeah. Most people have heard of it, and they read the title and they're like, are you sure you want to do it? But in all actuality, one of the main points is, if you remember something about somebody, then it is a kindness being able to be extended to them for no matter any reason. Everybody deserves it. So it's all based in kindness, right? And so that's why. And my staff that doesn't remember people, if you notice they aren't there anymore, you haven't been in a minute, but they aren't there anymore. Because without you guys coming in, right? Without the people coming in, there's no fucking point of me being open.
Right.
I'm not cooking for myself. I eat eggs and noodles. I'm like, are you kidding me? So, yeah.
It's an extremely important thing, like an extremely important quality. Sometimes that's all that people need, is like, they walk in and someone just says, hey, how you doing? Remember the name, remember a little thing about you. And that's like the thing that people might need to get through the day, right?
Yeah. Yeah, and I don't know how you...
Yeah. It definitely keeps them coming back, too.
Yeah, that too, yeah.
Yeah, see, for me, when I go out places, I don't want to be remembered fucking at all. Like, I don't say my name. I don't say the company. I say nothing. Like, my friends... Because I go out with Purple, right? Giselle from Tipsy Bean. And... she's saying hi to, like, fucking everybody, right? She's like, I'm here with Steph, and I'm like... Hi.
No, right. No, you're not.
I don't know.
I just had like a really weird experience too, like running into somebody today that I hadn't seen in a long time.
Yeah.
And I'm like, I don't know what to talk about. And he's like, oh, how are you doing? And I'm like, honestly, there's so many amazing things going on in my life, but I don't want to tell them all to you because I feel like I would be an asshole, like just saying all of these good things that are going on. And like, because I'm so used to like, people, I feel like a lot of times people are trying to have like a who's having a better life contest. You know what I mean? And I didn't want to participate in that and be like, look at all these amazing things that's going on.
Well, and I think because you said you hadn't seen this person in a while, I look at it as it's okay to humble brag. I guess that's the term, right?
Sure.
Humble brag about yourself a little bit. Because you weren't going to see him again for a while. Yeah. So, and all of your other friends, like, it's great to give, if you put it in your mind, like, oh, they're just going to give me that, like, mental, spiritual, whatever the fuck you want to say, support for that moment. Even if it's false, take it as, like, oh, you're speaking face value, you're being true, great. Like, they could have ill intention. But, yeah, and then you carry the fuck on.
Right.
You know, but always humble brag.
Yeah.
Like for me personally, like you guys coming in, like anybody coming in, they're like, we're doing really good. I'm like, that's fucking great. I won't
Right.
remember. I won't.
Right.
I'm letting you know.
It's not keeping me up at night.
It's not at
Thinking
all.
about you being an asshole, talking about the good things in your life.
At all. Like, I'm just happy that you're happy. That's all that, and you know, and that's the mindset that I've kind of, my older brother, he just got a job as an executive chef out in Utah.
Ooh.
And
Nice.
yeah, no, dude, my brother Drew is, he's legit. And he was like being all like wishy-washy and quiet about it, right? And I'm like, Drew, what the fuck? Like
this is a celebration.
just tell
This is
me
amazing.
what I was like, tell me what you're making. He's like, yeah, but I don't want, you know, you to feel bad. I was like, what the fuck ever? Like, I'm gonna be proud of you. Why would whatever goes positive in your life does not affect me.
Mm-hmm.
Unless, of course, it is you buying me tickets out to go skiing in Utah, then of course it
That's
will
okay.
affect me. But
Right.
Yeah. See, that's more how I am. Like, oh, what are you doing? Oh, I guess like a podcast or something.
Yeah, no, it's
you know,
fucking
like
great.
you know, I don't know. That's just like my natural. I've been. It depends. Like sometimes I just just talk, and then other times I've been like people have told me I'm standoffish. You know, just because how you doing? Fine. You know.
I don't think you're standing. Like, I look at it, so, and seeing you guys interact, for instance, with my dad. My dad is an obnoxious ass. Like, he will not, he is. I fucking love him. And he'll say that about himself. We're very proud in our dickhead obnoxiousness, right? But you guys both opened up and were talking about what, even you, Dave, just you sitting there and being like, yeah. And then like you started going, and like Tony, you were like, wait a minute, like he's still asking questions.
Mm-hmm.
Why? This guy is sitting here very prim and proper, being judgy, because he is.
With his Ben Franklin glasses.
Yeah, the Ben
Staring
Franks.
straight into my soul, trying to figure out everything that's going on.
He will. He
Yeah.
does. Yeah, that's yeah, it's super fun talking to him.
But going back to executive chef, I know
Yeah.
that you've been doing some like really
Oh yeah, the dinners.
fancy dinners. Yeah.
Well, okay, so they're
I don't
never
know if
going to
they're
be
fancy,
right.
but-
They're never going to be tweezer style, but I do try to have a little bit of Gordon Ramsay-ness in my like attitude.
Hell
Nobody
yeah.
fucking talks to me.
Everybody needs that.
I agree completely. Yeah. So, for instance, this one coming up on Friday.
We already went to it. It was amazing.
Yeah, it was so good.
It was so good. That last one on Friday.
You know what?
So
You're killing me.
good.
You're gonna fucking you're jinxing me, you dick. Us in the kitchen life are very superstitious. Like we throw salt over our shoulders, you know.
Hold on, let me make up for it. It was the worst. No.
Oh, it was absolute garbage.
It was bad.
Yeah, so the prep that goes into these dinners, it always starts. I mean, okay. The one that I did in March, I did the prep for that in 2 days. Recipes, the minute that I said it, they came. Like I knew exactly what I wanted to do, what it looked like. This dinner for June's, I mean, I decided what the vegan lamb was going to look like on Wednesday, which is today. Like I couldn't get the picture of it in my head of what I wanted, right? Mm-hmm. But yeah, no, so we do every 3 months, I do a 5-course dinner.
At 1020 Collective, right?
At 1020 Collective, if I am able to get into my own space, it'll just become a weekly thing of a set menu that changes every 3 months. Mm-hmm. That's my goal, is to have a sit-down restaurant with Friday, Saturday night dinners till 9 p.m. Prefix menu, same thing for 3 months.
Kind of goes back into like the trusting your person too. When you go to a place that has like the preset menu, like you're not. Mm-hmm. You're getting what's on the menu, dog.
Mm-hmm. And I mean, and something that I've found, my mother, for instance, she has, oh shit, this is going on like 20 years ago. She was talking about how she got an allergy test done, right? On an 8x11, she had 3 columns worth of allergies.
Wow.
For food, which is insane.
That's a lot.
She probably eats all that stuff.
No.
Okay.
So like it's like anaphylactic allergy.
Ooh, bad.
stuff.
Bad,
Right,
really
like
bad, yeah.
ginger and cherries and peach skin and carrot skin. Like, oh my God, you can't have vegetable stock. right? Like severe things, and they've gotten better. But I always imagine that at my dinners, somebody with that extreme amount of allergies would be able to come and eat. So if you have a nut allergy, nuts are completely kept separate. Everything is always gluten-free, for instance. So it's all celiac friendly all the time for every single one of my dinners. If you have a garlic one, the one that I did in March, somebody came in. What did I do? What the fuck did I do? What was March's? What did I?
I can't remember. I have like a vision of it.
Yeah,
distinctly.
no, I'm looking at the Oh my god, I don't remember what I did.
Garlic is in like everything.
Yeah, it's not at the Give a Crepe.
Not at the Crepe.
So everything at Give a Crepe in-house is garlic free. And onions are always cut big because people who have that onion allergy can eat cooked onions, but it's hard for them to chew, something with their digestive. I don't fucking understand it. I don't understand it.
Plus, they're easier to pick out that way.
Right. So if you don't like onions, then they pick them out.
Yeah.
So that's been something that I've tried to do with these dinners is make a regular menu and a vegan mirrorment that's identical in flavor, which is rather difficult. And I love it. And I love it. I love it. So yes, every 3 months we do fancy 5-course dinners.
Fancy 5-course dinners.
Right, where I drink bourbon and cook.
That sounds
like a good deal. Yeah.
So, and they are held at the 1020. What we found from March is, and this one is, even though I cap everything at 40 people, 40 works, but we do it in the downstairs area where they have that bar. I don't know if you guys okay. Because then it becomes family style and more like a chef's table experience instead of, just food being walked out to you. And a really big open space. And I've heard some really strange and weird conversations. One in March, these guys tried to get out early because their dog was sick, and then they ended up I kicked them out at 10:30 because the dinner ended at 9. I'm like, I'm all packed up.
Yeah, it's time to go.
You guys need. What about your sick dog? What the fuck is happening? And they're coming, and they came to June's as well. So and that was their question. I didn't know who it was. I didn't remember them, and they came into the CrepErie and they're like, "Oh, we're so looking forward to it." I was like, "How's your dog? Is he alive?" Because
yeah, he was sick for a while. You guys just left him there.
And they were like, "Oh no, he was fine." I was like, "Obviously, I'm being sarcastic."
Yeah, they missed it a little bit.
But yeah, no, the dinners. Yes, every 3 months at 10:20. If I can get into my own sit down space. So speaking on that.
Yeah, I want to hear about it. I'd be really sad. I would be so sad if you close down your shop you have now. I understand it's great for you and awesome and growing your business and having your own space and everything about it is great.
Yeah.
But on a personal level, I will be sad because it is as you can see,
right, very close.
5 minutes,
so,
less than 5 minutes.
No
from
matter
my house.
what, I am looking at Erie City. Period. So it's not like I'm looking in Mill Creek or Girard or Northeast or anything like that. That's just way too far away. I live downtown, I live on West 9th. I really actually do love downtown Erie. So finding a space in that's been the hardest thing. There's obviously some spaces that have opened up. Starbucks, Molly Brannigan's.
Yeah.
The old Alchemy, Bertrand's place is open. Working with EDDC, seeing if they have something in that vicinity would be really stellar.
Right.
But I'm in June. I have 6 months.
Sure.
And it'll go really quick, and then I'll start panicking come December.
Right. That's the way it always goes.
Procrastination is key.
We were just thinking about that earlier before you came. If you were to move, Federal Hill is a really cool area, and some places are made for Federal Hill, but we feel like your business could kind of be successful anywhere.
I think it could. Well, and I mean, Dave has experience with that, similar to what is it, the Gay Street CrepErie down in Knoxville.
Yeah.
Very similar setup, where you walk in, you get crepes, you can have soup. Okay, that's all.
Yeah.
Limited seating. The idea of a CrepErie can work anywhere. That's why I jokingly say to people, hey, if you want to start something, let me know. I'll give you all the details. I will teach you how to do this. because it can be successful. Federal Hill is wonderful. I wish that my only thing is wanting to be able to have people inside to sit down.
What about all the empty spaces up there?
Yeah,
No? I'm sure you've looked into it and explored and checked it out, the situation.
Yeah. So, the old Point 4 building, right? Mm-hmm. The basement is terrifying.
Love that.
But yeah, there's also no bathroom, which is a must.
You have
Which
to.
is
Necessity,
why,
yeah.
which is why I don't have seating now, is because I don't have a public restroom. And then the ceiling leaks, and the landlord lives in New Hampshire, so that's a hard pass.
Yeah.
And then the other spaces down the way.
There's a couple on your side of the street and a couple on the other side of the street.
Yeah, the one up with Hoffman. The Hoffman ones are nice. I just think about parking, and then
Right, especially if you're going to have people coming in, hanging out
Yes.
and eating.
yeah.
And 40 people.
Right.
Well, if you
Minimum.
maintain 40 people,
Right.
you know what I mean? For
Well,
your
and
dinners.
that's something too, is when I look downtown, they have parking integrated into their system of the shops and the local commerce. Unfortunately, on the hill, it's still such a thoroughfare that it really is hard to say, like, at night, if you wanted a crepe, you could park in front of the shop or park where? Tipsy Bean parking lot is closed because they're closed. You know what I mean?
Sure.
So without parking being integrated around commerce, it is going to be always a bigger challenge to get commerce
No
to that
doubt.
area. And that's something that Giselle, so with our district, it's known as the Erie Hill District Collaborative. And on the board for the last 3 years has been Giselle and I running it. So we got the murals that are up on 26th and Peach.
Right.
In conjunction with the Sisters of St. Joe, the lighting project, we opened up a scholarship for any new businesses coming in to help them if they need stuff. And that's what our
That's amazing.
Hill Fleas. Yeah, these are all like little things that I'm like, I don't want to have my name there, but I do. I'm very proud of it. And then we also do our artisanal fleas that go on every month. So in that regard, we have been pushing the city to make it a two-way street in that block from, that's 18th to 26th Street of Peach, because it's the only... it needs to be almost a two-way until you get to downtown. In downtown, it makes sense to be a one-way. But up in that region, there's the EMT area, and the Hill District runs from Hill Street in Peach all the way down to 14th, over to Chestnut, over to State. So the district itself encompasses roughly 72 businesses.
Wow.
Which is insane to think there are 72 businesses in that region.
Yeah.
So we were really trying to get it, and that's our biggest thing has been where the city itself has its eyes set to help build commerce at this point in time and integrate slower traffic, two-way streets, parking accessibility, things on sidewalk accessibility, beautification of the sidewalk. So that's kind of where, in looking for a second or a moved location, for me personally, I have to look to see where can I have the best potential for growth, for long-term growth, because...
Absolutely, that's important.
Yeah.
That makes a lot of sense too. I mean, sometimes depending on how people are parked on Peach Street, like
Right.
I'll always park in the Tipsy Bean parking
Right.
lot because I'll usually, go to give a crepe and then go next door anyways.
Right.
Sometimes if someone's parked too close, it's like a game of whether someone's going to T-bone me
Right.
when I'm
No,
coming
it-
out of the parking lot,
And so my building, there's that driveway, right?
Mm-hmm.
And there's usually like a car parked in there. Well, I'm all the way towards the back. Like that's where I park. Reversing out of that driveway onto Peach Street is a game of fucking
very-
chance.
yeah.
Yeah, for sure.
It is like, I'm going to die today.
Right.
And I do that a lot. So, it is. And that's something even just as a business owner, with our availability to park, what then does it mean for our staff or any customers coming in?
Deliveries, bringing in stuff.
Oh my gosh,
everything.
yeah. So, that's why another reason why we're at the point right now and being at 7 days a week that we are needing to
Move to
grow.
it. Yeah.
I mean, we got to grow our space, you know, and not just to fill it up with more random shit.
Yeah.
Because,
It'll be sad to see you go, but I will be very happy for you.
well, we'll go when it's time.
Yeah.
I'm not, you know, I looked to move. Well, I looked to have a second location, and Gannon taught me that I am not fit to run two businesses at the same time.
Really?
At all. At all.
How do you feel about that?
What? Not being able to run
do you
two
agree
businesses?
with Gannon?
Oh no, that's my decision.
Okay.
Oh yeah, no, Gannon didn't fucking say that.
I thought Gannon was like, "You're not allowed to do this."
Yeah,
I'm
no,
like,
Gannon
"What?"
wanted me there, and I'm like, no. No, it was that decision, even though it was very advantageous with learning opportunities of what my staff need to be able to excel when I'm not there. Meeting new students coming in, meeting international students, not so much the professors, they're nice, but I didn't see a lot of them, or faculty in general, but it was not a good financial move and stress move. Like my stress levels went through the roof. And it wasn't just from running two places. It was just because like I was running two places mediocre.
Yeah.
And that's not okay.
Yeah.
That's not okay. So, but yeah, that's
The world doesn't survive on, or businesses don't survive on mediocre.
sometimes.
Well, they can eventually, but that's not how I would want to do a business. You know what I mean?
Well, I mean, so this is a business, right?
Sure.
Yeah.
Yeah.
We are a LLC.
There you go.
We generate a very small amount of money.
Dude,
We basically pay for ourselves to like continue to exist.
Give a Crepe is a non-profit at this point in time.
Right. Yeah, just enough to keep the the website up.
Yeah.
Yeah. The day that we get to pay ourselves will be a wonderful
Oh my
day.
god, that would be so crazy.
I have to say, so since going 7 days a week, which started June 1st, that is the first time that I have been able to be 100% at Give a Crepe without a part-time job. So I've had a part-time job this whole entire time doing other things. Yeah, there's that. Because I like working.
Yeah.
Are you sure about
And
that?
I have to pay my bills.
I like doing that.
I like
paying my
I
bills.
like living
I like
in a
food
house.
and electricity and water.
The gas in my truck and
Right.
electricity. Yeah. So that's no, so being able to do that is not freeing.
No?
No.
Oh my god. You're supposed to say that was the dream and it made your whole life better. That's like what it looks like in my head.
No, it's not.
Oh my god.
No, what it does is it gives you the ability to say, I have this, and now what can I do with the time that I have dedicated? Because when you're doing a part-time job in your career, in your business,
Your main thing.
right, and it'll slowly transition to where like your part-time job is not your podcast, for instance. It then becomes your full-time, right? But you now have this extra free time because you're doing that full-time, so you can delegate other things like making sure all the mics are clean and shit like that you guys are doing now. And you're like, wait, that's 15 minutes over a whole week. So that's an hour and a half that I have now free. Mm-hmm. What can I do to that?
Right.
What can I do for that? You know, and do I put it into another job or do I put it into my future goals of what I want to do?
I don't know how that could be even possible because I already have like dreams about the podcast and the business and all the other stuff that's going on.
Dude, Give a Crepe is a project. I had to get it in my head. Okay, so I'm super naive and global. Like, you guys could tell me something and be like, oh my God, that's amazing. And it'd be a total lie and I wouldn't know the difference. I'm really gullible.
I'll save that for later.
Yeah, you know, I give my weaknesses. When, like, Give a Crepe always started with the idea it could succeed today, ?
Right.
And that's okay. So, like, if it doesn't work at the end of the summer, like, let's say we go tits up, right?
That would be a sad day.
It would be a sad day, but for me personally, I'd be like, okay,
Yeah.
that didn't work out.
We tried.
There you go.
That's the same way with this podcast.
Yeah. I think that's something. Now I know you started this before the pandemic, but I feel like that's something that a lot of people kind of like.
That'll keep them from trying.
Well, no. I was gonna say like a lot of people before the pandemic were so caught up in the rat race, and then when that happened and things shut down and people lost jobs, a lot of people realized, including myself, like wow, like I'm still alive. Life still goes on.
Yeah.
You know, and it really like jarred a lot of people, including myself, out. Like, you know, you do things and sometimes out of your control they come to an end, but that's not the end of the story.
Right.
You know, like as long as you're still living and breathing, like you're going to do something else, and it could be that forever. And maybe it gets to a point where you just don't like, we don't want a podcast anymore.
Right.
You know, like we do something else with the business or go in different directions, but you got to try.
Right.
Like that's the main thing. Like if you have a passion or you want to try something and see if it works, that's the real important thing to do with life. That's what I think.
I mean, I agree. So Give a Crepe was started because where I was managing Virgil's. I don't know if y'all have had Virgil's.
Oh, yeah.
Oh, yeah.
Oh, fucking yeah.
It's good stuff. All these restaurants you're associated with are like
Top of the line.
They're
Chef's
good.
kiss.
And like Gary, the owner of Virgil's, he was in finance for 30 plus years. Like he's like, I don't know, I like making pizza. I want to make pizza. I'm like, okay, cool.
Let's make some fucking pizza.
Right. And so I never make pizza. I don't like baking. He knows that. I do not bake. And he told me, so his daughter and son-in-law did a pop-up. For fuck's sake, I forget the name of it. They did it twice, and it was Wyoming green chili tacos, right? Fucking banger in early 2016. And then they moved out to Oregon. And he looked at me and he was like, you like making crepes, right? You want to do a crepe pop-up? This was in September, and I was like, I mean, I have some recipes.
I could, yeah.
I could. And then he was like, all right, so in 2 weeks, we're going to do a pop-up. 2 weeks, I had to, like, figure out how to fucking plan all of this shit that was on a yellow notepad that said La Soleil, which is my citron. So that's what the original name was. You know, like, Miss Madame. Well, what the fuck does the menu look like? What are the portions? Like, they weren't even recipes. They were just names. And
I love that.
it was, and he was like, so what would you do if it doesn't work out? I'm like, I have no skin in the game. Like, it was $187. That's
Right.
how much I put into this.
Yeah. Not a huge detriment. How will you ever financially recover from
going
this?
to be fine. And then Bertrand, he let me use his crepe irons, and they just kind of let me. And even Gary on the first pop up, he looked at me before anybody came in. And he's like, "Have you ever served people crepes like by yourself with your recipes?" I'm like, "No."
Here we go.
I've never done. I was like, I worked at Bertrand's. Like, I spun out his crepes. I didn't even make the batter. I just spun them for people. And he was like, okay. I was like, you want me to make you one? You want to test it? Like, we should probably test this out. Yeah. Like, an hour before I opened the door for this pop-up that we'd advertised for 2 weeks.
Made your first crepe.
I made my first crepe for, like, real service. And I was like, yeah. That actually tastes how I thought it would. We're good. We're fine. He's like, what the fuck? And I was like, I don't know. It works.
Yeah, here we go.
And we sold out by 2. We were supposed to be open until 4, and we opened at 10. Like, holy shit. And he was like, you want to do it next month? I was like, oh, I mean, okay. I don't know if I can keep doing this, though. Like, it's exhausting. Like, I thought it was going to be a 1 to 2 off. That was it. Like, I never dreamed this at all. At all. I would have been, I could have been happy, like, just being, manager or bartender.
Yeah. And show up, make crepes a couple times a month or a couple times a year.
Yeah. I'm out.
8 Great Tuesdays or whatever.
Yeah.
Make them till you're done.
Yeah, there we go. Blue heron. I just, sit around.
That was the original goal anyway.
Yeah, blue heron, do mushrooms, camp. I'm good.
Are you making crepes at Blue Heron this year?
Fuck no. It's a $3,000 mobile license fee.
Jesus.
Yeah.
Wow.
That's a lot. See, starting out the way you did with like a $200 investment is so much easier and feasible and able to lose and recoup that if you didn't sell any crepes at all compared to a $3,000 license.
License. And that's like the thing. And then you also have to provide your own refrigeration for those type of things. And
Generator?
I have the generator. Like I have a hot dog cart that I converted into a crepe cart because I put a crepe iron on it.
Hell yeah.
But so much of these things were just like piecemealed together, you know, Bertrand lending me his crepe irons until I could afford my one. And then now I have 8 at the shop.
Holy shit.
Yeah, I have a problem. I collect things. I might be a secret hoarder. And, you know, and then there's like the hot dog cart was a good friend of mine, and we were partners in a travel company in State College together. She owned a barbecue restaurant in State College and worked as a fraternity mom for this frat there. She was like, hey, I have this hot dog cart. And I'm like, that's cool.
Sweet.
She was like, well, if you want to be mobile, like mobile, instead of just a table, you could do the hot dog cart and table. I'll sell it to you. You got to drive it. This thing was sitting underneath a pine tree for 2 years. Do you know the amount of sap?
I was just thinking
it was so gross. There's still
it was probably awful to clean too. Like
it was a lot of fun.
Personally, I'd probably I have like pans that get too dirty that I want to throw out.
Yeah, there's still sap somewhere on that thing. Like, I mean, it's been through the ringer. Thankfully, a big reason that it did get clean when my kids and I drove back from State College, it was like one of the worst fucking rainstorms in Happy Valley.
Nature's helping you out.
And I was like, we're gonna die. Like, this thing weighs 250 pounds and it's on this huge long tongue, you know, with the arm of the trailer. It's this long.
It's gonna tip
so
you
it's
guys
just
right
like my kids are in the back are like, Mom, is that okay? I'm like, it's gonna be fucking fine and clean.
Yeah.
Like, hey, we gotta get home now.
We'll find out if it's gonna be okay in a couple hours.
Here we go. Yeah, it was a trip, but no, it's been all piecemeal together. You know, it's
That's how it always starts. Nobody ever starts at the top of the mountain.
I hope not. I'm scared of those people that like go in and they're like, we have all of this shiny, and I'm like, oh, for fuck's sake.
Yeah, we got a second mortgage on our house, and we've spent like $100,000 on all of this equipment for something that we've never done before.
Yeah. I was gonna say, like, I'm not gonna bring it up here. Tony knows what it is. Maybe I'll tell you afterwards. But I came up with a genius business plan in like 2020, and like after looking at, you know, how much technology would cost and like how much like I need an accountant, I would need a legal team for what I was doing, you know, like, and I was like, I'm gonna need like roughly $1 million to do this. And I was like, this will work. I talked to so many people about it, and every single person was like, that's a genius idea. And I'm like, well, do you got $1 million?
Right.
You know?
No, it's called Shark Tank. And
there you go.
Yeah, I don't think they would put this on Shark Tank.
Mark Cuban might have been interested, though, if you found him on a personal level, I feel like.
Yeah.
But not on Shark Tank.
Yeah, no, I'm...
Yeah, stay away from that one.
Stay away, yeah.
All I'm saying is that if there's a will, there is a way.
I agree. Or maybe this should be brought back up.
Yes.
Someday.
Yeah, no, what you do is you label the podcast the XXX series, and then that's when you discuss it. Because I'm guessing whatever needs a parental, you know,
legal
guidance.
Team, yeah.
Right.
That'll be on a different podcast at a different time.
You're not
in a
far.
parallel universe.
One day I'll be a guest on here talking about it.
And I'll still be down here.
I'll still be down here too, but I'll be like, hey, you want to interview me now? Like,
Yeah, let me talk
hang
about
out.
my side thing. It'll be great.
So, but yeah, no, that's, I mean, I don't know. That's Give a Crepe.
Give a Crepe's pretty amazing.
Yeah. I mean, I appreciate that. I feel that it's food. I know that other people cook better and
I
do
feel the
better.
same way about this podcast. They're like, you guys are like doing pretty good. You're doing big things, like blah, 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 all this stuff. And I'm like, maybe when we get here, I'll think this is a big deal or a good thing. Or maybe if we get to this next level, then I'll be happy. And that it never works out that way.
I watch back, and we were talking about this. I can't remember if it was when we started recording, but I watch back and I watch like the video of myself. And almost every time, and I try not to be hypercritical, but when I watch it, I'm like, you are so bad at this.
Every time.
What are you doing? Like, what is this, episode 53? You still sound like an idiot. Like,
Oh, you gotta know. You know, I posted something on Instagram, a reel about the imposter syndrome, right? Because like I have it fucking hardcore. Like, I don't know what I should be doing, but this is outside of my league of mental state, right? But I know I can do it, and I know what I'm doing. So I don't want to give that falseness. But the imposter syndrome, like you guys are doing good. You're good podcasters. You're good job.
thank you.
Thank you. But no, I think everybody who is self-aware of like their follies in this are easier to be more accepting of others, but also then show themselves kindness on the positive sides, but keep pushing themselves harder.
Right.
And not to say to overwork, but you know.
And a lot of things are able to change too. If we just came in here and we're fucking amazing, we're gonna take the world by storm, and never like watched or listened back to any of the podcasts to see where we are messing up and what we need to change to do better. Yeah. And just like had that exuberant overconfidence the whole time. We never. I mean,
right? No, you wouldn't be able to.
We wouldn't be doing all this stuff.
Right.
We wouldn't be changing the room around, using the brand new computer, first time on the new camera.
Look at that.
We love you guys out there.
Are we live?
No, we're not.
Oh my
live.
god,
We're not live. What if we were just like, yeah, we've been live the whole time.
That's happened before on accident, actually.
That has happened before on
Like,
accident.
oh, we didn't record, but we were live for an hour and a half. Of me down here playing with video games and messing around with stuff before people showed up. Yeah, it was fantastic. Apparently, everybody loved it.
It was a good time. Like, I remember one time I think this was the same time we were recording, and we tried Twitch at first to like live stream. We only had like 1 or 2 people would listen.
Twitch? What is this?
It's like
I know like video gamers.
Twitch is owned by like Amazon, and it's a streaming service. They do all sorts of different stuff. A lot of gaming. So a lot of people that like review games or play games and interact with the people, and they're fun to watch. And that's Twitch. So we've been trying to go on there. They have a podcast section and stuff like that for anybody that does want to tune in live. But we haven't been doing it very much recently.
That was one of the first ideas we had. We're like, we're gonna live stream so that if our millions of guests or listeners want to ask questions during it while we're like interviewing a person. But then we found that nobody was really getting on to live stream it. But the one time we did it on accident, and just like our one, as we joke, biggest fan was on there, and he just like posted something, and we're like, oh fuck,
my God,
we're live streaming. Hope this is okay with you. We're live right now. Like,
it was so exciting too to even just have like one person post on like comment on. I'm like, oh, what about this? It's awesome. We really love all the people that.
Well, yeah, because I see the keyboard
listen.
there. So, I mean, you must be able to communicate if you ever do go live via right there.
Well, they hear us, too. I mean, they hear us talking. The keyboard really isn't... With this new setup, we don't really need the keyboard so much. The keyboard was mainly for, like... Because we had a camera on this side where that one is right now, and we had one on that side, so that way we could see both sides of the table. Right. But now that we're all kind of clustered around one end of the table, we don't need 2 cameras anymore. So I don't really need the keyboard, but I do need the mouse so I can like press start and stop and all that other stuff.
Do that. All right, you got to ask a question. I'm about to tell you guys that we got to wrap it up.
We are about to wrap it up.
Cool.
We've been going.
Well, no, because I'm like, I need to make tarts.
Yes. We thank you so much for coming on, though. Great way to end it.
I didn't mean and wrap it up like that. God, that was like drop off. Here's the cliff. Die.
Yes. That's the way it needs to go sometimes.
That's a great story you just told, but we're done.
Goodbye.
I've come to realize, what is it? Purple and I were out at Altered State. This was months ago. And this woman comes up, and I've known her from my other part-time job, and she's talking to me. And I had like a fucking hell of a week. Like, I was ragged. Like, I just wanted my old-fashioned and to you've left the fuck alone. Besides who I came with. Like that, you guys have all been there.
Oh, yeah, for sure.
So, and she comes over and she's talking. I went, cool. So this is my night. And I'm gonna be all done now, okay? And I turned my back, and I was like, I would love to speak to you at another time, but seriously, I cannot.
Not right now.
It's so good to see you. And she looked and she was like, "Are you tired?" I'm like, "Obviously."
Yeah.
I'm like, and to kind of circle back to right where we started, we have our faces, and it's good to have the service face, but it's also really nice to be able to see people and and not
be real.
Yeah, and not a masked up situation.
It's not all for show.
Yeah.
Well, Steph, it's been super fun hanging down.
I hope we covered everything that you wanted.
I mean, we didn't really have much that we wanted to cover particularly, but I think it's awesome. I mean, I had a good time hanging out and
great
chilling
time.
for a
Yeah.
while. So
Yeah, no, I
hopefully everybody
appreciate
else
it.
likes it too. Make sure everybody likes, follows. Go get a crepe from Steph at Give a Crepe.
Yeah,
on
Give a
Peach
Crepe.
Street.
And
Check it out. It's awesome.
It's amazing. Like, follow, Facebook, tell your friends, support
your
us on
friends,
Patreon.
tell your family,
if
get
you
your
love us
asses
that
down
much.
there.
That's right. Support Steph.
Support us.
Support us.
Support these
everybody.
guys. Talking. That looks great.
Yeah, thank you. I can't see shit because I'm not wearing my glasses.
Oh.
It looks awesome.
Yeah, no, it looks great.
Thank you.
I think next you should have a deck of cards here. So
We thought about doing a live stream poker, or maybe not a live stream, probably a live stream poker tournament podcast. Nonsensory.
Or Crimes Against Humanity podcast.
Ooh.
That'd be a good one.
Yeah.
That one might get us canceled.
No,
I'm just kidding.
no, there's
We'll
that.
put it on Patreon so that way only people that subscribe can watch
Correct.
it.
There you
And
go.
then we
That's
can say
how
all
you
the
get away
fucked up
with it.
shit we want.
There's a podcast I listen. So I listen to horror all the time. That's my calm. So wrong. But anyway, so it's called the No Sleep Podcast, and if you're a Patreon subscriber, you get their 6-hour editions, right, for the week.
Oh.
If you're a free listener, you only get 2 stories, which is 2 hours. That's all I need of horror at one point in time.
Sure.
But yeah, with Patreon, you could be do a
Check
whole
out.
entire, Cards Against Humanities, because they also have them for kids that are safe. Just so
okay.
you know. My
That,
mom-
that sounds like
It's
decaf
horrible.
coffee. Yeah, no
It's
good.
horrible. My mom got them for my kids, thinking that
They
my
would like
kids
that.
are not dark subspecies of me. And they're like, "Mom, how can we sexualize this and make it kind of wrong?" And I'm like, "You just did. You just did.
You
That
just did.
statement.
Mission accomplished.
It says salt. I don't know what to say about
Yeah. Make an innuendo out of it.
Right.
So, but yeah, you could definitely do that, like the Patreon of, if you want to tune in for a game of Cards Against Humanities.
It's a good idea. I'm gonna put it in my legal pad of ideas.
And right before we go, speaking of Patreon, once we get to that 10th Patreon contributor,
Dave's gonna do something crazy.
I'm gonna do something crazy. When we got 5, Tony's got a primitive weekend coming up where he's living out in nature without any modern
where are you
technology.
going?
I'm going out to, I guess I can tell people now, I'm going out to go Choco Beach out in the Northeast. My friend lives right off Route 5 and has a little beach area that I'm going to...
Have you ever gone 100%
No.
disconnected?
No. I'm bringing my camera so I can record and
Okay.
document it. I'm also not drinking any water or eating any food the whole time.
That's not safe.
It's safe. I mean, it's not, it's debatable.
It's not safe.
Right. I have people coming to check up on me.
The water thing, actually, mainly.
The water is the main thing.
The water you need. Your body needs water. Why would you agree to that?
Because
He's the one who made it up.
Without
I made it up.
water.
Yeah. It's part of a...
Can you drink the lake?
I
don't think
I could
that-
drink the lake. That would probably be worse though than
That
not
would make you
drinking
so
any water.
sick.
Well, if you have fire, you can boil it down.
That's
Yeah.
true.
No, I'm not doing any water though. It's part of a ceremony that goes back thousands of years that Lakota people have been doing.
Okay.
Called Humblecha, and it's basically a separation and isolation from all things other than nature, spirit, the world. So I know that people typically it's a 4-day thing.
Mm-hmm.
So people can go 4 days, probably longer, with no food, no water. I'm going 3 days, 2.5.
Okay.
So I will be okay. It
Are
will
you
not
going
be,
out with like camping stuff?
I'm bringing a hammock and a tarp and a
Fuck
knife.
yes.
And some rope.
Fuck yes.
Right. I'm excited about it. I'm bringing a chair too. I'm allowing myself one book too. I'm bringing a book.
One book. It's going to be a philosophy book. I will not be not drinking water when I do my thing. But we'll get to that when we get to 10 people. So
10 people.
When we
need
start
10
getting
people.
closer, we'll start thinking of more crazy things for Dave to do.
Wait, so are you Lakota?
I'm not Lakota by birth, but I go to a lot of Lakota ceremonies. I've been going for like 5 or 6 years now.
Right on.
It kind of all started when I got clean, and I'm like, if there's God out there, I'm gonna fucking find him. And these traditions and these ways and these ceremonies really resonate with me.
Yeah, no, the peoples are good. They're good.
Yeah, and so I've been doing it pretty steadily for 6 years, so it's not like I'm going out on a whim or anything like that. I talk to a couple people, like I go to Humble H's every year and support. I go to Sundance and stuff like that. I've seen people do it. I've talked with my the guy who, I guess you would call him the chief of a few different things, like the chief about it, and I've talked about it with some other people that have gone on it. So I feel ready, and I feel like I know what I'm getting into.
That's fucking great.
It's not going to be like, obviously not drinking water for 2.5-3 days is not like a easy thing or something that I would recommend for everybody.
Right.
It's definitely going to be difficult and challenging, but I am very much looking forward to it.
I'm not going to say it because it's a spiritual thing. I was going to say something, but it's going to be awesome. It's going to be a good time. It's going to be a good time.
I think that's fucking tits.
Thank you. I'm going out end of June.
Okay.
And I'm going to record it, and I'll piece together a little thing about the experience.
Oh,
for
man,
everybody.
you're going to have so much fun.
It's going to be cool.
Especially since you said you've never disconnected.
No. So, like, I'm just imagining how time is going to work. Like,
beautifully.
When the sun comes up and when the sun comes down.
It's beautiful.
And, like, having no idea when the day was.
It is a lot. It's a lot of fun.
I'm looking forward to it. I think it's going to be an enlightening, powerful, good experience.
Do you know how to build a fire?
Oh, yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
That's actually the main thing you need to know.
Yeah, I can build a fire. I've built many fires, and I've built a few structures out of a tarp and rope before and a
He's
knife.
fucking fine.
He's fine.
I'll be all right.
He'll be all right. We'll figure it out for me.
Yeah.
Anyway, though, it is time to wrap it up.
Yeah.
We love you guys. Thanks
Tony,
for tuning
Dave,
in.
Thank you very much.
Thank
for
you.
having.
Thank you.
Thank you, guys.
Peace out, everybody. We love you.
Bye. I won't do that, but okay.